Alright guys, I want to go over how to install your steering wheel adapter to your Gullwing. So you're going to get your steering wheel adapter. It's going to have instructions. Okay. This is what you're going to get with it. And all you really need out of this whole thing is this yoke piece here. So what you can do is you're going to open it up and just take this out. Okay. Now as far as the horn, you could relocate the horn wiring to a switch button, so I wouldn't worry about the horn setup from the steering wheel unless you're going to hook it up to something on the steering wheel. So this is not needed. You could use this, but what I noticed with this thing, this tends to rub on the pod, the opening of the pod sometimes, unless you drill a really big opening on the pod. I just don't feel like I need it, and I never used them since I've been making kits. Alright, so you'll see right here it says top A and top B. Okay, so I think depending on where the hole is on here, so the hole is right here at the top, so you're going to line up the top one. You could do B and see how B right here is pointing that way. I guess that'd be okay, but what I do is I use top A because it's more pointing up. You can see when you use this one here, top A is pointing up, so that, and if you use top B, it's kind of pointing a little bit to the left, so I use top A. So that lines up perfectly with the 3 holes on the Gullwing. Okay, you can see this has a couple holes here, and these holes here are for the horn wiring. But again, we're not going to use the horn wiring on this Gullwing. We're going to bypass that and put it on like a switch to your switch pod or to your upper console or lower console. Alright. So, and then it also comes with instructions and 3 bolts. Okay, I don't like personally to use these 3 bolts because I'll show you in this. I'll open it up and I'll show you why. Okay, so this was made to go with all this stuff here. And you can see that this little extension piece from here to here is quite raised, so it only screws in up to here. So then you got like a 1/2 inch sticking up. So when you go to mount this, okay, from the inside, you're going to have like a 1/2 inch sticking up. So I don't know, I haven't really tested to see if it's going to get in the way of the wrench when you go to mount this. But I think it will be hard to get a socket in there or to get a wrench in there. So I just don't use these. What I do is I go out and I buy some of these cap screws, okay, and they're Allen heads, and I believe the size that you want for it is 3/16 on the ones I use. So what I get in there with this and mount it from the inside with these instead of what they give you. If you use these, they stick up a little bit, and I guess you could probably maybe get a socket in there if you could get a very small one, but I normally can't fit a socket in there. I usually just use a wrench. Alright, so I'll put in this description below where you can get these Allen head screws. You'll need 3 of them, because again, I mean, you could try using these and see if you can get some socket or a wrench in there to tighten up your Gullwing to the steering wheel shaft, but to me it's just easier to get a flatter head than to use this that sticks up in the air. Okay, again, gonna have the A pointing to the top here, and then you're just gonna get the nut in from. It's a little tricky because you don't have much space to get in here. Okay, and you could put some lock thread on here if you wanted to on the screw itself if you don't ever want this to come off or make it really hard to come off. But I don't normally use that. So what I like to do is put the screw in there first. Okay, like that. And then I could kind of get it up under there and then turn it with your finger. Okay, so I got 2 in there. Last one. And the far one you probably should do first because that's the most difficult to reach. And once you get it on, you know, finger tight, then you get your Allen in there. Your Allen key. Again, this is 3/16. Then you could just tighten it up. Alright, so once those are all tightened up, I'm going to kind of give you a view here. I'll tighten one up all the way so you can, this thing doesn't rattle around. Alright, so once you got them tightened down like that, that's all there is to it. And then you can put this on your, let's see if I can get that with the light. Okay, so just tighten them down, all 3 of them. This will go onto your steering wheel yoke, and then you'll slip on your nut in there, and then you'll tighten it down with a socket or a wrench. I have videos on YouTube on how to do this. I'll put this in the link at the end of this video as well, so you can see how this mounts to your steering wheel shaft. And that's how you install the steering wheel adapter to your Gullwing right there. It's that simple. 3 bolts and you're done. And all you need is the bottom plate piece. You don't need all the rest of the stuff that comes with it. I will include it with the Gullwing just in case you want to look at it or use it, but you don't need it. This is all you need, and then this will be covered up with your pod unit, so you will never see this, and that's why you don't need anything else.